Hey, brother. So, the average screen time of the modern man is over 7 hours a day, which is completely fucked. And so, that's why this video here for all of the best strategies and tactics for completing your life changing dopamine detox, this video is crucial for your development. Okay. More important than any possible self improvement habit is just really the habit and result of a life-changing dopamine detox, right? So let's get into the video. So first things first is the time limiter on the iPhone. So there's the native one that comes on the iPhone, the one that you can just fucking skip every 15 minutes. That's automatically useless. I've had days, and I've mentioned this on the channel several times, but I've had days where I literally went from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. clicking that 15-minute YouTube screen time kind of remind me later button every single 15 minutes for 12 hours a day, right? Do the math on that. 12 times 4, that's 48 times I press the button in a single day. It's completely useless. So I'm going to put that there. And before I continue, I kind of forgot to describe my tiers. So from bottom to top, scam slash time wasters is advice that I've been given from like other men's self-improvement YouTubers in the past, where this advice deliberately made my life worse and it made me binge instant gratification even more. And this is the kind of stuff where if ever you watch a YouTube video kind of like this one on dopamine detoxing and a guy recommends the ones that I put in this tier, just fucking unsubscribe from that guy. He's a fucking horrible guy to take advice from, so just skip that guy. Useless. Useless is ones that I'm not necessarily mad at, but they're completely useless and not going to help you at all. Good but combined with others is ones that by themselves would be useless, but when you stack them together, they can get very helpful. Individually great means if you did nothing else but this one thing, you would see decreases in your instant gratification screen time, and you would see just measurable improvements in your self-improvement life. And obviously life-changing, these are the cream of the crop, best dopamine detox strategies and tactics that I've found in my personal life and tested and studied after binging self-improvement content from 18 to 24 years old. So 6 years of watching this shit. Anyway, let's continue with the video. Next, we have putting the iPhone or whatever Android phone screen time widget on your phone screen. So ideally you have one main phone screen with not hundreds of apps, but you kind of put them away and you just have these useful widgets. I will say that this widget on its own, it goes in good but combined with others, because look, if you just put this on your phone, that doesn't really stop you from binging YouTube videos for 10 hours, 12 hours, even 16 hours a day, like I used to in my worst times. But once you have this, your goal of reducing your screen time starts getting measured, right? And the first step you take with anything that you want to improve on is you begin to measure it. So this is a very confident, good, but combined with others, because it's useless on its own, but when you stack it with a bunch of the others that are going to be in this tier, it starts to really snowball and get you some results. That's a great first one for this tier. Next, reading. So just setting a simple 30-minute, man, just make it easy on yourself. 10-minute, even a 5-minute reading habit, like just reading one page a day when you're getting started. This habit is one of the fundamental self-improvement habits in general, but this video, it's not a self-improvement habits tier list. It is a tier list for strategies and tactics that help your dopamine. If I had to make this like a self-improvement tier list video, reading would go at the top, because reading just completely transforms your mind. But in terms of reducing your instant gratification time and increasing your delayed gratification time, I'm still going to put it at like the A tier, individually great, because look, any time that you dedicate in the day to delaying gratification, where you have like a 30-minute time block deliberately meant to delay gratification. I'm going to put this in that tier. It's great on its own. One key sort of obstacle or risk with this is, if you level up in your self improvement a little bit, sometimes reading these books in itself can become your instant gratification, right? Like if you're reading the books, that's great. But after about maybe a year of being consistent with reading your books, if you aren't taking consistent action on, Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Atomic Habits, Deep Work, 4 Hour Work Week, any of these great books, then the time you spent reading them was wasted, right? Like I've read countless self improvement books, but then still later on in my life, binged 12-hour, 14-hour, 16-hour YouTube binge weeks. I'm not just talking about days, I'm talking about average screen time being more than 10 hours a day for an entire week on YouTube. I've had months in a row like that. And I'm not bragging, that's fucking pathetic for an adult man, but I kind of just say that to paint a picture for the fact that I know what I'm fucking talking about. But yeah, I'm going to put reading and really anything here that I could confidently say is a dedicated time block for delaying gratification. That's going to go in A tier. And you should really focus on these habits. Waking up early is going to be going in good, but combined with others, because I had countless mornings where I was waking up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. consistently and doing everything right. But then I would immediately just pick up my phone from the pillow beside me and start watching videos for like 12 hours all day. So this good habit, in terms of all of the self-improvement habits, it would go in S tier if this was like the self-improvement video. But for specifically dopamine detoxing, it's going to unfortunately just be in good, but combined with others, because I have a track record of this not really reducing my screen time, bro. Next, so this might be our very first life-changing one, and you're not going to like it. So this dopamine detox tactic is to unsubscribe from every YouTube channel that you're currently subscribed to. Because if you're like me, you've probably got like 130 plus subscriptions on your YouTube account if you've had it for like 10 years. And you're subscribed to a bunch of video game let's plays, music stuff, anime stuff, like a bunch of unrelated, unproductive, entertainment type channels and videos like that. And I know it sounds scary, and it was scary for me to do this as well, but I've never looked back. But I strongly encourage you, if you've got the balls, to unsubscribe from every single YouTube channel on your YouTube account that isn't beneficial to you in some way. Me personally, I purged from 130 to about like 20 channels that I was subscribed to a couple of years ago. And the 20 that made it, the cream of the crop, they were all self-improvement or like entrepreneurship type focus. And I've honestly never looked back. Like I delayed doing that once I had that idea for months, because look, basically my childhood is wrapped up in some of these channels that I was subscribed to, right? I've had this account since I was like 13, and I was still watching PewDiePie in the OG days of YouTube. And I was scared that I was going to lose kind of like a catalog of my growth, right? From kid to adult. But honestly, like when I thought of it in the sense of, I've put a bunch of, I have like 2,000 videos in my liked playlist for it's like a private playlist for my account. And I've got over 4,000 videos in the watch later tab of my YouTube account. So if I ever need to go back and kind of look up the history of my kind of YouTube addiction and my growth from kid to man, I can just see those. So I would highly encourage you, brother, to unsubscribe from all the channels that are not self-improvement focused, okay? Because it's time to get serious. Like, you know, do you want to grow? Do you want to have a life-changing dopamine detox? Do you want to become successful? Or do you just say you want to? The choice is yours, man. Next is the dressing habit. So, this habit, I know this might come as a surprise to you because it's not super self-improvement focused, but I just personally find that on the days where I put a little bit of more effort into my outfit, like I'm not just wearing a bathrobe or I'm shirtless like this, or I'm just wearing some pajamas or something, like the days where I actually put an outfit together that looks decent, I tend to not waste as much time. It's hard to measure, but I'm just going to tell you, bro, this is a good, but combined with others. Obviously, you could just binge video games all day, Netflix, anime, whatever. But I just personally would say at least I see a 5% decrease in instant gratification when I put some effort into my self image that day. And then, I binge more on the days where I just don't give a fuck about my image. Drinking, so alcohol. This one is an interesting one. So, where I would put this in terms of, and specifically what I mean is stopping drinking alcohol and junk food and weed, like any of those instant gratification consumables, but we can just umbrella all of those under alcohol. I would say stop drinking alcohol and junk food and weed. Is that great on its own? Like, will it reduce your instant gratification? Yeah. I would say if you just stop going to the store and buying alcohol or junk food or whatever and bringing it to your house, that will decrease in a strong way your instant gratification time. Because think of it, if you just go to the beer store and you buy a 6 pack of beer, you bring it home and you just put it in the cabinet, you're basically confirming an appointment with your future self to waste time. Because with how expensive everything is these days, I'm not going to just throw that in the garbage, right? I'm going to save those beers up for some future time for me to drink them. And the odds of me, let's say I have a busy day at work, working 9 to 5, maybe I work some overtime, I get home at 7, right? If I'm dog shit tired, what I'm supposed to be doing is, you know, summon some masculine discipline and continue working on the channel, right? My side project, my passion project. And if there's some beer there, it increases the odds that I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to do and delay gratification. I'm going to fall to the instant gratification craving. And, I'll crack open a beer. And honestly, there's 0% chance I work on the channel if I've had one sip of beer and cracked a can open. So I would say stop bringing junk food because it's the same thing with like Doritos. If I bring a bag of Doritos and I open it one evening because I'm tired, there's no way. I'm like signing a contract where for the rest of the night until I fall asleep, I'm not going to be doing anything productive, right? So as much as you can, just stop bringing junk food, alcohol, weed into your home. That's a huge one. No fap. So an interesting discovery I sort of made after years of knowing separately what nofap and dopamine detoxing are. Like I knew what these were for probably like 3 years where I knew what each of those things were, and it took me 3 years to realize that nofap is just the step 0 of a life-changing dopamine detox. Like you're just reducing your instant gratification time by a lot, obviously, if you're really addicted to porn. And like maybe you guys are smarter than me, but I never connected nofap and dopamine detoxing for years, right? But they're the same thing. Like you're reducing your instant gratification time, right? So for nofap, as step 0 of a life-changing dopamine detox, I would definitely say that this one is higher. It's at least a B, probably an A or an S. I will say getting off of porn will definitely be individually great because, you know, I can speak for myself. I have been able to overcome porn addiction, but not like YouTube addiction, spending 10, 12, 14 hours a day on YouTube, right? I think a lot of guys are in my same camp where we're not addicted to porn anymore and we've lost a lot of the bad habits, but our main one is watching YouTube. And that's what's keeping the no fap habit out of the life changing. So I will reiterate that this isn't a self improvement tier list because obviously no fap is S tier self improvement. This is a dopamine detox tier list. And so, you're detoxing your dopamine for sure by getting on no fap, but you may just like me just get back into challenges. So this is a trophy right here, and what I mean by this box is putting a challenge to something, like doing monk mode February 2025, right? Doing a life-changing dopamine detox and reducing your screen time by 66% in 30 days, like just setting some sort of challenge for yourself to achieve. There's something fun about that in a way that not just me, I know many guys, millions of guys love these sorts of challenges. There's like 75 hard, there's monk mode, there's all these different challenges that guys set themselves. And there's something about it which gets guys even as addicted to instant gratification as you and I to actually take action for once in our goddamn lives. Like, if I haven't made it clear by now, this channel was made for young men in the self improvement depression stage that we're defining as those years where you know everything you need to be doing. You know all the good habits and self improvement, like the reading, meditating, going to the gym, but you just haven't stayed consistent enough to, to achieve life changing results, right? I spent the years of 18 to 24 years old in this phase, and it brought so much depression and self loathing and self hatred into my life to the point where I almost gave up on self improvement when I was 25, 26. And like, it's really dark and nobody's coming to save you, brother. If you're like me and you're a bit younger, you always bet on your older self coming to save you. But I promise you, he's not coming. That older version of yourself that you're kind of procrastinating on taking life seriously, he's not coming. You have to become him. He's not some like secondary character, future you. No, no, no. There is no real future you. You are always present you, okay? So I know that that sounds kind of wishy washy, but if you're similar to younger me, you might understand what that means. And if that sounds like you, I highly encourage you to subscribe, brother, because nobody else is documenting on this website his transformation, aka me, of going from watching 12 hours a day of YouTube every single day for months on end to become a man of action who does everything that he tells himself he will. I actually didn't put this. This is obviously going in the. I'll put it. Honestly, I would say setting a good challenge for yourself. If you can actually achieve it, a strong challenge, it can be life changing. If you set like a life changing dopamine detox challenge of, I'm going to reduce my screen time from 10 hours a day to 3 hours a day in 1 month, I truly believe that a challenge like that gets you to take action. So I'm putting it in the life changing category. Next is surrounding yourself with men who don't have this instant gratification problem like you and I. This one's pretty good. So I have a couple of friends who I'm very strict with my social group, and I've always been like that. Of everybody I know, I'm the strictest with who I spend my time with. right? I decline social invites if I don't really feel like it. I'm Some people call me an asshole, some people call me rude, but I just value my time. And so I only spend it with people that I genuinely respect, and I think that they're going to do great things in life, right? I think they're winners. I've got basically 4 to 5 friends who I would consider really live their lives, and they use all of their time deliberately, and they delay gratification. And I try to spend as much of my time as possible around them to soak up their work ethic and learn from them. And it helps. It's, again, as a self improvement habit, surrounding yourself with winners would be S tier. But I have been able to do this and also maintain an instant gratification addiction. So I will be putting this just in the good but combined with others tier. And by the way, none of these are ranked in order. Like they should all be considered equal. But I advise you to collect a group of men that are on self improvement and ambitious and smart for your self improvement journey. But in terms of dopamine detoxing, this didn't really help me with my screen time as much as the things that are higher on this list. Cold showers. So, cold showers, again, bro, as a self improvement habit, these are S tier. But when it comes to reducing your screen time and pursuing a dopamine detox, I am just going to be putting this in combined with others, because I've also had days just like those early morning days where I was consistent waking up at 6 a.m. I've been consistent with the cold showers, but I've also had days where I cold showered in the morning and still binged YouTube for like the whole Saturday. This is kind of similar to the dressing well habit, where on the days where I cold shower, I notice that it sets a positive momentum for disciplined, delayed gratification decisions, right? I'm not going to go into the whole science of the adrenaline and the norepinephrine that shoots up, and even the dopamine that spikes when you do a cold shower. I'm not getting into the science of it. I'm purely speaking on a personal results basis, because if you're watching channel, especially if you're watching the video this far, it means that you and I must have a lot in common, or else you wouldn't be watching the video, bro, right? So I'm speaking on a personal basis, and you can take this as kind of like a tailored explanation for you for how these results will work for you. So cold shower, S tier for self improvement, but for dopamine detoxing, it's going to be B tier, good but combined with others. Next, joining a team sports league or just a team. And this one, I'm going to be honest, I've been personally slacking on doing this. I've always wanted to do this because I'm pretty confident that it would help my self improvement, my social skills, my discipline, all of that. But I just haven't pushed myself to do it really. But from just thinking about it critically, the more time that you spend in your week dedicated to delaying gratification, right? All of us are under socialized, right? So any social time is good as long as it's not with bums. Like I said, I haven't done this myself, so take this with a grain of salt, but I'm going to be putting this in the A tier, individually great. I strongly believe that if you dedicate, let's say, your Tuesdays and Thursdays every week, which were just going to be spent on video games anyway, like if you can either spend 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday binging anime or grinding League of Legends ranked matches with your boys, or you could spend that time, getting in the bus or getting in your car and driving down or commuting down to the soccer league. I strongly believe this is a way better use of your time, and it will reduce your screen time for the week, obviously. Next is putting your phone charger in a room that isn't your bedroom. This one is, no, it's not S tier, but it's great. I do this and I've been able to stay consistent. It's one of those ones where I was actually able to do it, and then I never really put the charger back in my bedroom and kind of cheated, This strongly reduces the amount of time you spend on your phone just first thing in the morning and last thing at night because your phone dies, right? Especially if you were binging all day on YouTube or Netflix or something, your phone's going to be dead and you're going to have to charge it in the living room, right? I honestly might put this at A then. No, but I mean, I do this and I still have days where I watch like 10 hours of YouTube. So it's good, but combined with others. Next is kind of a controversial one. So screen blockers, whether it's free or paid. I'll tell you, brother, I've paid before for $50 for an annual subscription to this Freedom app, and I still fucking cheated all the time, right? Like, in theory, this should be S tier if it really blocked your bad habit sites like porn and YouTube and Instagram and anime and Netflix, whatever. But the thing is, I'll tell you from personal experience, you will always, if you're craving instant gratification enough, you will always find ways to break the website blocker or cheat or find a workaround. Okay. I have gone to autistic lengths to circumvent the coding of this thing. You wouldn't even believe it. So, unfortunately, website blockers, even the paid ones, are just going down in B tier. Good, but you got to combine them with other good habits. Next, this is kind of an interesting one, but actually getting out of the fucking house. This is an easy, life changing S tier. So that's a picture of me on the bus commuting to my job. And I can confidently tell you, brother, the days where I commute to the office versus the days I work from home, I definitely get more work done when I'm at the office, right? Because you're not going to be like working on your computer and then you have your iPhone right here just watching YouTube videos on the side. You can't do that at the office, obviously. And if you're a student, it's the same thing. Like you can watch the lectures at home if they're getting recorded, but let's just be fucking honest. No, you're not going to watch them. You're just going to binge them at the last second right before the exam in a couple of weeks, right? So I am super, super confident that just getting out of the house and going in person to classes, to school, to work, whatever it is for you, will severely reduce your screen time and help you delay gratification. Okay, look, there's sometimes I remember back in university where I would have the YouTube app on my phone and I would like go to the library intending to study, but I would just watch videos on my phone. But the the paranoia of I was always making sure nobody could see what was on my screen and stuff like that, it was very painful. And I did still study more frequently if I was at the library than if I was at home, right? If I was at home, there was like a 99% chance I was just going to binge instant gratification. But if I was at the library, there was like a 50% chance. So when you can, bro, just get out of the house and go work at the library, study at the library, okay? Next is very related to the topic of last week's video where I talked about how in 1 month I reduced my screen time by 66%. And this tactic, it's very important to me now, which is you have to control the devices that you pursue instant gratification cravings on, okay? I have deleted YouTube and Instagram and Netflix from my phone and not re-downloaded them because I kind of allow myself lately to use those things on my laptop, okay? And one thing you'll notice is that Instagram is way less convenient to binge on the laptop than it is on your phone. Same thing with YouTube, right? It's still incredibly convenient, YouTube on your computer, but it's much less convenient than using your phone, right? So I strongly encourage guys to use just your laptop for instant gratification. Just get off of your phone. It's too easy and convenient. I am going to put this one in individually gray. Now, deleting Steam. I know you're too much of a pussy to do this, but I did this years ago and I never looked back, okay? This one was similar to that subscribing from all those YouTube channel ones because I was like, holy fuck, like I can't imagine a life without Steam and like logging in on games with the boys and whatever. I paid all this money. I've paid hundreds of dollars on my Steam account. What? I'm never going to play the games again. It's like, bro, you are missing out on millions of dollars if you don't start taking your life seriously and gain some freaking discipline. This one is very important to me, and it's scarier in your head than it is in reality, okay? I strongly encourage you, brother, take this as a call to action to delete Steam from your computer, okay? I have only re-downloaded it once for like a month just to play this new game that came out, but I promise you that once I deleted this, I was very scared too, but I never looked back except for one time for one game, but that was like for a month and I re-deleted it and I saved plenty of hours of Saturdays where it would be like 8 a.m. I'm drinking my coffee in the morning. I log into Steam and then I enter a trance of video games until 11 p.m. that same night. And, I just had a stressful week at my job or a stressful week at university. And then my whole weekend just gets deleted because video games, man, they put you into such a dopaminergic trance that you start, if you're like me, you start starving. Like the dopamine from the game is so satiating that the dopamine that your brain gives you to go to the fridge and make some food isn't enticing enough. And so you just stay at the computer and starve yourself to death. So for that reason, I'm putting deleting Steam in life changing for your dopamine detox. Next is stopping all of the notifications on your phone. This one is a great, great habit that I have also never looked back on once I started it. Having those little like dings, those noises and vibrations on your phone all throughout the day, it just adds stimuli to your instant gratification addiction. Okay. So if you learned anything from the book Atomic Habits, which every man should read, it was the number one best-selling self-improvement book in, I believe, 2018 and 2019. It won all these awards for that. The whole sort of habit forming protocol it teaches you is habits are formed by stimuli, craving, action, and result. And anytime your phone dings, that's a stimuli to pick up your phone. And look, all of this is about reducing your screen time. So anything that makes you stop looking at your phone and reduce the stimuli, that's going in individually great. But I'm going to downgrade it to good, but combine with others because look, I've been doing this for years and I still watch YouTube for like 10 hours a day. So this is a great one, but it's going in B. Eating the frog. So my best consistency with self-improvement in my life was when I was 21 and for 6 months in a row I woke up every single day at 6 a.m. and I meditated for 10 minutes. I did 30 push-ups and I read a book for 30 minutes. And I did this without question. I did cold showering most of those days in those 6 months. And that was kind of my first personal self-improvement transformation. For that, I'm going to put this in life-changing tier where right when you wake up, right at 6 a.m., if you just sit at your computer and get some homework done for school, or you get some work done for your job, it sets such a good discipline, delayed gratification momentum that I was talking about earlier with the cold showers. It sets such a good one that you get tasks done right at the start of the day. It just makes you want to keep getting things done and you don't want to waste time on instant gratification all day. So look, I'm not really ranking each of these within their own tiers, but eating the frog, I'm going to say is the best one so far because it really makes you just want to get things done all day on the days where you can force yourself to get that first frog thing done. On the days where I actually get some work done within 5 minutes of waking up, those are almost always good days. Next is deleting these social media apps from your phone. This is kind of useless, but I currently have them deleted, and it's just too convenient on your phone to have them. Like, which one of these was I talking about earlier? The devices? Yeah, just deleting shit off your phone. It's kind of useless, but it does help to not have them on your phone, okay? Because you can just re download them. I'm just going to say combine with others because you should be doing this. Okay, willpower. So, one of the worst advices that one of my old men's self improvement YouTube mentor guys taught me a couple of years ago is he was like, "Oh, listen, bro, you've got to leave all of the apps on your phone. You've got to leave all the chocolate on your desk, all the temptations for instant gratification, and build the discipline to not fucking use them." And I wasted like 4 months of my life following that guy's advice. And so this is going in the scam slash time waster. So this was such shit advice to just keep my bad habits right in front of me all the time and build the discipline to not use them. No, that was such an horrible advice that I got, and it wasted months of my time. So this is going in the scam time waster. Any guy who tells you, "Oh, just be disciplined, bro," is fucking stupid advice, man. Next is going to the gym. So, like I mentioned earlier, anything that is dedicated time towards delayed gratification, it's taking time out of your week that you would have otherwise spent on instant gratification because you're addicted and you can't control yourself. So, going to the gym habit, that is going in great. Next, we can say meditation. So, the whole point of meditation, in my opinion, is to develop impulse control and mindfulness, meaning whenever a stimuli happens in your life for your bad habits, you have about a split second to maybe 2, 3 seconds to really breathe and consciously decide your reaction rather than having an emotional monkey brain, lizard brain reaction. Meditating and developing the habit of meditation and being mindful, it helps you control the impulses that you would have gotten from a phone that's constantly vibrating and dinging. Whenever you hear those, if you've been meditating consistently for at least 3 weeks, you'll be more powerful to realize that, okay, if I open my phone, that's just going to set me up for failure. I'm just going to open Instagram and binge it for like 3 hours. So actually, let me leave my phone over there. That is the ability meditation gives you. So for that, I'm going to say it is individually great. You got to be on meditation. At least 2 minutes a day is a great start. Second last, and definitely least, is grayscaling your phone, bro. If one more motherfucker tells me to grayscale my phone to reduce my screen time, I'm gonna fucking lose it, man. So many guys have said just grayscale your phone and make the apps less attractive, but like, no. If I still have all the apps on my phone, I'm just gonna watch and I'm gonna get to a video where like colors are an important part of the video, and I'm gonna de-grayscale it. So this is a waste of time. And last but certainly not least is Pomodoros, which I'm going to put in S tier, in second place in S tier. So I actually bought this timer that one of my sort of YouTube self improvement mentor guys recommended me to get. And this shit really helps. Like setting a timer where you have a dedicated task to complete by the end of the timer is very useful for guys like you and I with instant gratification addictions because you're it's less scary when you set a timer and you clearly define the task that needs to be completed. And yeah, I just see myself actually using this each day consistently. And so I really recommend you to get a physical timer. Don't use the timer on your iPhone. Just any time that you can replace a feature on your iPhone with a physical thing, I highly recommend you to invest the money in doing that. This was like $10, which is kind of a fucking scam for a timer, but look, it's helping me, so whatever. But this is the tier list, brothers. So if you skip to the end just to see all of the S tier things, then fuck you, man. I worked very hard on this video, so I demand that you rewatch the full video if you skip to this point and give me my damn watch time, bitch. But with that, brother, I highly encourage you to check out the specifically engineered playlist that I made. I'm going to put in the top left corner here, that I specifically designed with videos that get you to take action and force yourself to take action after every one of these self-improvement videos you watch. Because if you're just like younger me, all you fucking do is you're going to watch this, be intrigued, and go watch some other one and not really use the time that you invested in watching this video, brother. So watch those videos to actually learn how to force yourself to take action. And I'll see you in the next episode, brother. Subscribe.